Honorable Chairperson, the fight against corruption continues. President Jacob Zuma bragged in this House last week. What he should have actually said is, the ANC will continue to be corrupt. There is no use fighting us, because that is the plain truth. The corruption scandals that follow President Zuma are not unique to him. They are symptoms of a rampant, systemic, and deep-rooted culture of corruption that has destroyed the ANC beyond repair. I stand here today, Honorable Chairperson, in support of the victims of the ANC's corruption. In particular, I stand in support of South Africa's lost generation, young people who are born free but denied hope, their futures stolen by greedy and corrupt ANC politicians. I speak of learners such as those at Lower Malepelepe Primary School in Mdikisweni village outside Solo in the Eastern Cape, who for 5 years had to kneel on the floor because there were no desks or chairs for them. These were learners, some as young as 6 years old, whose plight the Eastern Cape Education Department had known of but chosen to ignore. It had to take exposure in the media for their schools to be provided with the bare minimum, while the Provincial Education Department failed to spend 530 million meant for infrastructure at schools. How many more Malepelepe primary schools are out there? Schools where learners whose rights are ignored because they are poor and black, and money meant for their development stolen, wasted, and misappropriated. Then there are the learners at Khayetso and JM High School in Lichtenburg in the Northwest, who had to embark on a protest after pleas for scholar transport fell on deaf ears. These were learners who were forced to walk 8 kilometers daily through crime-ridden areas, risking being robbed, raped, or worse. This all happened in a province where the Premier, Mr. Supra Mahumapelo, wants to spend 6 million on a statue in honor of President Jacob Zuma, while learners in his province beg to be provided with transport so they can go to school safely. It is disgraceful that in a province where many struggle, money will be spent on a vanity project for a president whose legacy will be nothing but corruption and rising unemployment. I challenge you, Mr. President, to say no to that statue. The next statue that the other members of the Premier League will order, no doubt, will be in honor of the other paragons of corruption and their bosses, the Guptas. Then there are the young and talented executives who appeared before the SABC inquiry, purged from their positions because they refused to be corrupt. The ANC government stood by and watched while Hlaudi Motsoeneng and his enforcers looted.
Honorable Van Damme, please take your seat. You are recognized.
I want to take a question from that idiot.
Honorable Van Damme, take your seat. You are recognized.
I guess you don't want to take a question from me. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Yes, you were begging for DA membership. Now here you're trying to show them that you're committed to the ANC. Sit down.
Honorable Van Damme. Honorable Van Damme.
Sit down.
Honorable Van Damme.
You hold your back. Put KFC in it.
Order. Honorable Van Damme. You are on the podium. Order, members. Order. 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 Honorable Premier, order. Honorable Van Damme. Honorable Van Damme, you are on the podium. You are addressing the House. You are not dialoguing. Okay, please don't repeat
no
that.
Problem, no problem, no problem.
Order, Speaker. Raise the point of order, Speaker.
We're not now.
Honorable Van Damme, please take your seat. You are recognized, sir.
I raise an order, Honourable Speaker, in terms of the joint rule 14P.
What is the point of order?
The offensive language that Honourable Van Damme is just
offensive language? You here on Sona,
Honourable Van Damme,
shouting FU to members of the opposition.
Honourable Van
Damme, please sit down.
Please take Honourable Van Damme, order, members. Honourable Van Damme, I am not. Order! I have never seen anybody behaving the way you do on the podium. Please desist and take your seat. Take your seat.
As Chairperson, I was saying, In terms of Rule 14P,
No, I can
she called another honorary member an idiot. I think it's not parliamentary for him to say that.
Thank you. Honorable Van Damme, did you call another member an idiot?
I withdraw.
You
But
are
him-
withdrawing, please.
He here on
Honorable
Sona Day-
Van Damme,
On Sona, I'm speaking my
you cannot point fingers at other members.
on Sona
Please
Day,
continue
that
with
member-
your speech. Take your
On
seat,
Sona Day,
honorable
this is
member.
my speech, this is
Take
my
your
speech.
seat.
She's a strat mate.
Honorable. Order. Aye, members. Order. 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 Honorable members, this house will not degenerate. You will not reduce this house, all of you, to this chaos you are causing. Honorable members, all of you who are making gestures, who are vulgar in your language, you disrespect this house, unfortunately, and the constituencies that put us here. Honorable Van Damme, please continue with your speech.
I'll add this to my speech. That member there on Sona Day was walking in this house shouting "F you" to members of the opposition. So you can't come here and try and tell me about the rules when he was vulgar. I'll continue. Now,
Order,
the
Speaker.
ANC government stood by
Order,
and
Speaker.
watched while Hlaudi Motsoeneng
Can I raise a
and
point
his
of order,
enforcers looted the SABC.
Honorable Van Damme, please take your seat. What is your point of order?
I request that Honorable Van Damme must raise a substantive motion because I've never mentioned such kind of a thing.
Honorable members, the point you are raising is we did get to hear that order. How? Continue, nje. Honorable members, I know that earlier today that the Speaker of the National Assembly raised this matter of
So what?
vulgar language, of language which is unparliamentary. Please desist. We will get into the records and look at everybody who has used that word in this house, and we will refer this matter for discipline. I want to urge you members that we must desist from doing this. Honorable Van Damme, you are on the floor.
The ANC government stood by while Hlaudi Motsoeneng and his enforcers looted the SABC and exacted a reign of terror on all of those who stood in the way, all with the full protection of Mr. Zuma, who he had on speed dial. These are but a few of the stories of the lives of the victims of the ANC's corruption. There are millions more. As the DA, we say we will make very sure that those
On a point of
responsible
order,
for
Chair.
stealing your money.
Honorable Van Damme, there's a point of order.
On the point
Honorable
of order,
Kgadebe.
I'm rising, Chairperson, on rules, Joint Rule 12,
Yes, sir.
which states that the rules which are used, the discipline rules which are used in the houses, different houses here, are also applicable in this house. So the member cannot come here and make an allegation that the president had a full knowledge of what was happening in the SABC. I think that one must be brought through the substantive motion. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Van Damme.
We had evidence in the SABC inquiry. in that
Honorable Van Damme, please take your seat. Honorable Kgadebe, we will get into that which you are raising. We will look at whether or not this allegation is baseless. Honorable Van Damme, I do not know whether this house has received a report from you, which means that before that house, this house, the National Assembly received the motion, a report from you. It would be better for you to hold your horses. Honorable Chief of the Opposition.
May I address you, House Chairperson?
Yes,
House
I'm not a
Chairperson.
House Chairperson, thank you.
Chairperson of the NCOP, my apologies. I think that the honourable member who raised the original point of order has misconstrued it. There are two volumes of rules. There's part 1 and there's part 2. Part 2 deals with rules of debate. The rules of discipline that the member is referring to refers to the sanctions of members should they be found guilty of having transgressed the rules. What he's trying to do is supplant the rules of debate of the National Assembly into this chamber, and that's not permitted. It relates to how long a member can be suspended and other matters, and that's why he's not the Chief Whip.
Honorable Khadebe, please take your seat. Honorable members, allow me to chair the House. The rules which the Honorable Khadebe referred to are fine. What you are saying is also in order. Let us not try and play for time and excuse behavior which is untenable in the House. The rules of both houses are applicable under different circumstances. For now, the rules of the joint sittings will apply. It is under those other circumstances that the different rules will apply, and we hope that we will not have to do so. Honorable Van Damme, please continue.
As a DA, we say we will make very sure that those responsible for stealing your money will be brought to book. We will fight ANC corruption wherever it is. In the provinces, our MPLs will continue to hold provincial governments accountable, and municipalities, our councillors, will do the same. In Parliament, the executive will feel the heat, and in particular, President Zuma. Our litigation for the reinstatement of 783 corruption charges against him has been sped up. We have also filed papers in the Constitutional Court to seek a declaratory order that he violated his constitutional obligations in not giving effect to the remedial actions set out in the Public Protector's State Capture Report. Honourable Speaker, it was quite clear that the ANC and corruption are like this, inseparable. It does not matter who is leader, the culture of stealing money is deeply entrenched in this organization. The only hope South Africa has is to vote out the ANC and its culture of corruption. Where the DA governs in Tshwane, in Nelson Mandela Bay and Johannesburg, we will bring corruption-free government. And after we are elected to national government in 2019, we will stop corruption, halve the number of ministries, cap spending on consultants, make tender and procurement processes transparent, and cut in government perks like travel, vehicles, catering, and VIP protection, which will be very hard for you. Our public servants will know that their job is to serve all South Africans and not the other way around. A DA corruption will not tolerate corruption and will not tolerate anyone who commits corruption. The DA will fight the scourge on behalf of all South Africans, and especially the youth who have had to watch as the ANC has squandered and stolen their futures. Woza 2019.
Thank you, ma'am. The Honorable Khayla.
Honorable Chairperson, Honorable President,
Order, members.
Honorable